We said no. And we said
See,
by any means
Bayyinah knows I've been celebrating.
yes. Good. Yes.
Haïtien, Jodia, 234 années depuis. Ah, mhm, ah. Est-ce que nous entendez, Haïtien? Ouais, miracle là, c'est que nous là. Miracle là, c'est que Bayyinah là.
Nous là, nous là, nous là.
OK. Ça souhaite nous prêts, Haïtien. Parce que nous, gon moun là, il tellement aimé nous, il pas jamais jouer nous. Différence lui-même avec moi. Bayyinah qui sont liés, c'est moi.
Moi en forme, moi en forme. Moi content.
Oh my God.
Et moi content n'a passé moment ça ensemble. N'a rentré dans mémoire nous. N'a songé qui ça nous t'est fait dans la nuit 13-14 d'août 1791. C'est pas yo non t'est fait et nous oui t'est fait. Et c'est ça.
Ça nous y est? OK, Haïtien. Ma fille, on va chercher like $5 pour nous. OK. Nous gagnons Bayyinah Haïtien. OK. Nous souhaitons nous connaître qui ça veut dire. Que nous gagnons Bayyinah Bello devant nous aujourd'hui pour faire un petit parler avec nous. Directeur exécutif de Fondation Félicité.
Nous va gagner titre ça dans la fondation. Fondation gon seul titre. Responsable. C'est celle ça nous gagne. Tout le monde dans la fondation gon seul titre. Responsable. Donc ça responsable. Faites l'empereur, ça responsable. Régler Bò Kay Manbo, ça responsable. 1er janvier, ça, mais chaque monde a une responsabilité. Nous pas dans président, trésorier, patati patata, nous pas dans l'obéi ça.
Eh bien, nous t'entendons, oui? OK? OK? Maîtresse la fine parler, oui? Maîtresse la fine parler, c'est pour qui est lié. OK? Mais moi là seulement pour me nos plateformes là pour nous songer les ancêtres. C'est ça. Okay. Bayyinah. 234.
Oui. Donc, dans la nuit 13-14 d'août 1791, pendant que gon la loi dans la colonie l'esclavage, qui te dit, depuis au barré 2 nan nou, ou 3 nan nou, côté. Nous pas gen laisser passer, nous pas gen permission esclavage yo, y a pan nous. C'est ça la loi a te dit. Et nous-mêmes nous te dit bon ça est la loi pa yo, ça fait garder moun da yo. On y a nous-mêmes nous gen pour nous faire la loi pas nous. Et la loi pas nous en dit dans l'ennemi de ça. N'a rencontré dans la forêt yo. Chaque espace boisé.
Attendez, excusez-moi, bon, me retirer. Par contre, pour qui ça, va chercher retirer. Chercher retirer. Qui va pas faire tout ça. Parce que faut nous tenter les tests là. Qui parle pas avec nous. En direct, c'est parce que. OK. Moi, j'ai gagné YouTube qui t'est ouvert. Mais moi, fermé le kounya. Haïtien. Nous connaissons maîtresse Bayyinah Bello. OK? Lui, c'est un trésor pour nous toutes. Et la vient parler avec nous aujourd'hui sur 234 ans depuis Manbo Inan, Bokmen Douti, Dédé Magritte, Grande Guitonne, Dessalines, Capois la mort, te dit non. Bayyinah, parle à moun yo pour moi.
Eh bien, d'accord. Bon, oui, quand on nous t'a dit, c'est l'important pour nous bien songer, pour nous comprendre. La loi t'interdit pour nous deux ou bien toi dans nous campons côté. Si nous pas avons permission pour nous faire ça. Donc, imaginons, pendant la loi,
OK. Chanson pas vérité, non? Bon, chercher les pour moi qui va pour me retirer les. OK. Stop. Quand nous tendez Bayyinah. Okay. Let me see where that darn thing is. I have no. M'ba même connaît qui pour qui raison chanson voulait continuer à chanter. Les nous gen maîtresse Bayyinah devant nous là. Bayyinah.
Comme son chanteur qui dit nous river dans la cour.
Ben make sure, ben même connaît qui bolier, ben ouais.
Son chanteur qui mené nous dans la cour.
Haïtien, m'da souhaité que nous comprenions qui Jean joue aujourd'hui a son jour qui pas gain pareil. Et c'est raison ça que nous gagnons Bayyinah devant nous là. Et nous pourrons gagner et Professeur Small qui pourra venir là tout pour l'expliquer nous. So, moi fait je souhaitais que chanson arrêtée. Allez Bayyinah.
Eh bien, d'accord. Donc, nous t'avons dit, pour bien capter le moment, il faut mettre tête nous dans place là. Il faut comprendre yo t'es dans 13 d'août 1791. C'est nous qui t'es 13 d'août 1791. Nous t'es déjà là. Nous t'as coulé dans veine yo. Nous t'es dans sperme yo. Nous t'es dans ovule mesdames yo. nous t'es dans pensée yo, nous t'es dans désir yo. Donc nous t'es présent. Nous connaissons yo apprendre nous l'histoire qui fait nous dire yo pour yo détacher nous avec nous-mêmes. C'est quand Bayyinah t'a dit la parler de meni et puis il dit li yo tel bagay doit être li yo non doit être moi c'est moi même figim c'est moi piem c'est moi dom c'est toujours moi sam c'est moi pomme c'est moi chevem c'est moi. Donc c'est pour nous premier bagay pour nous faire pour nous bien capter l'histoire. Faut nous apprendre comprendre les n'a parler dans l'histoire, les n'a écouter l'histoire nous dit nous assumer ça nous t'es fait. Donc 13-14 d'août ça comme dit d'après recherche pas ma tante Fatima, tante Cécile Fatima passé 4 années à planifier pour faire une rencontre qui pas même durer des aides. 4 ans pour planifier moins que des aides. Et qui j'en nous connaît moins que des aides parce que le bâtit sous la ligne pleine. Vient te qu'on calculer qui prochaine fois la ligne nan pral pleine pral ban nous toute li miel. Donc c'est parce que l'a fait calcul ça, donc l'a dit c'est date ça nous pral faire ça n'a faire. Pour personne pas gen ni bois pain ni rien nan mel qui ka fait yo wè gon moun k'ap marcher. Donc tout bagay planifié sous tout détail. Li planifié qui non a gagné. M'pa ka paraître m'bral nan Bò Kay Man et puis m'a yo moun campé. Il dit qui va là? Qui est-ce qui là? Et puis me répond Bayyinah. Eh ben m'tou mouri parce que pas gen Bayyinah sous liste là. C'est peut-être non yo ban mwen lè yo te programmé pour m'venir, yo di m colibri ou bien yo di m wanganeges ou bien yo di m 44. Pas connait. Mais chaque moun te gon parole qui te représenter qui non ap gen jour soir ça. Donc c'est pas un bagay ou lever et puis subitement nous blip nous courir non. Ou te gagné une invitation qui te bon exactement le yo campo dans tel carrefour yo mando comment relé tel mounouy. Pour nian c'est ça qui permet tout arriver dans espace côté nous pral rencontrer. Et dans espace là nous pral rencontrer, nous pas pral faire discours Bayyinah, professeur vient parler, un tel. Non. Nous avons un bagage simple pour nous régler. Qui ça n'a fait pour petit à petit, pas vin sibi, ça n'a sibi là aujourd'hui. Point, boule. Si on Bayyinah la parole, et puis Bayyinah dit oui, bon, mettre pas maintenant, il pas tellement méchant, et des fois, au lieu de bam 50 coups de fouette, il fait bam 30 seulement. Écoute, longtemps m'pa gen la parole encore, m'pa gen tant dit tout parole ça. D'autres nous pas intéressés dans sac méchant, sac pas méchant, nous besoin connaître qui gens pour nous sortir dans ça lié pour ti moun yo pas vinn subi ça n'a subi là. Donc c'est pour ça. Ezili dans ton correct l'a dit. Merci. Mesdames, messieurs. 14 d'août 1791 yo. Parce que si on pas prendre décision ça, moi même avant pas tap chita nan ken Zoom ou bien StreamYard ou bien quelque soit ça lié, je dis. C'est grâce à ça yo te fait qui pral mener nous. Alors comprenez bien. L'on en dans système esclavagiste, premier zam système nan, c'est la Pérez. Faut couper tout le temps. Ou moun dit hey, ou gata tremble ou pas kon hey qui ça. Ou toujours parler pour dire ça ou connaît moun qui relo là envie tande. Pas même connaît sa vérité, ça pas vérité. OK? Nous ouais yo fâché contre Ezili Danto et ben depuis yo dit Ezili devant nous tout dit oui il est coupable. Bon yo pas même dit nous ça le fait. Et puis nous quand on dit il est coupable. C'est dans espace ça nous t'a vivre. Et puis pour nous arriver mettre femme dans femme nous, garçon dans garçon nous, pour nous dire nous pral croiser à 10, à 15, à 20, à 50. Depuis yo t'a barré un groupe. C'est l'amour là pour là. C'est la vie où mettez sous tapis pour te aller dans rencontre ça. Et c'est pour ça nous pas jamais dire merci assez pour ça yo fait pour nous. Pour le fait que vous menez nous là, que nous là aujourd'hui nous ka parler en pile, parler je suis ceci, je suis cela, c'est grâce à eux. Espace Bò Kay Manbo ak événement Bò Kay Manbo. Pas seulement li fait nous rivons côté nous ka prendre décision pour nous dire non, nous pas bagay ça faut le camper. Et pas faut le camper non. Bagay ça y aurait l'esclavage et aux chrétiens ça. Map campel. Et pas faut le camper non parce qu'elle pas camper pour contre lui non, pas aucune raison pour le camper. C'est chaque monde qui était là qui dit map campel. Est-ce qu'il y a dit oui lui-même la joindre gens quand même li pot gasoline. Isaac dit oui moi-même ma pot alimette. L'autre la dit lui-même m'a vinn à manchette. L'autre la dit m'gon couteau, ça dit m'pa rien, mais m'a vinn tout ni, m'a ben comme dans l'huile yo pas ka attraper les m'a courir. Chaque monde te gen zam pal. Chaque monde te gen méthode pal. De qui j'en nous pral roumer. Mais nous tout te vinn d'accord. Son seul bagay qu'a fait autant de nous. C'est pas chita parler. C'est force y a vide sous nous ramasser le tourner le bayo. Et c'est décision ça qui prend dans la nuit ça. Mais décision ça, li prend oui, et pour samedi moi même son congrès nous te fait. Et pas cérémonie ou ka fait ça n'importe qui l'est. Mais chita prend décision politique, ça relève congrès. Et comme nous faisons congrès, nous décidons faut que ça change. Et puis des fois nous pral prendre date, nous dit à partir de telle date, tout le monde sort dans mon land dégage c'est va zamou gen. Ça cap fait manger gen kon poison. Ça gen piment, ça gen quelque soit sort gen en bas mais on lan ou broumer ak zam ki nan mon lan. Parce que une nan bagay tout qui toujours clair. Il était clair en 1791, il clair jodi. Ça pas existé un peuple ou bien un monde ou bien une forme la vie qui pas gon gens pour le défendre tête li. Tout monde gen zam. Plat manger nan mon lan tout chaud, bon maï moulin bien chaud. Yo fin servi ou tel monde vinn plonger sous et ben plat manger a tourner zamou ou servi nan figil. Ou gagner piment ou bien de l'eau ou bien acide ou bien Clorox, quel que soit so gen nan kay la, toutes ces âmes. Yo ces outils, l'on observe avec yo pour régler cause. Mais depuis yo attaqué ou, toutes outils tourner âmes. On faut comprendre ça. Ou comprendre dans n'importe quelle situation où y est. Ou ka défendre tête ou. Pas de situation pour garder fourmi. Garder fourmi ou pas même ka well tellement ça piti. Mais allant mettre dans niche fourmi ça passe qui est-ce qui a couru? Et ou ka couru pas fourmi yo ka couru parce que fourmi yo gen zam yo. Toute bête mordée, toute bête gênée mordée. Tout bon gens nous ka défendre tête. Et l'obligatoire c'est première leçon. Bò Kay Manbo nous. Bò Kay Manbo dit nous pas gen situation là dans nous pas ka défendre tête.
Okay.
Chaque monde quelle que soit situation va vivre jodi quelle que soit forme, diable qui devant l'ensemble, quelle que soit couleur poli ou bien, c'est pas dans ça. C'est dans action où nous connaissons le diable, axil pas diable. Et là, en face au diable, c'est pour construire tout, pour monter tous les outils, faire tourner les âmes, pour défendre tout en face n'importe qui lugar ou paraît devant. C'est la première leçon nous apprendre dans ça. Deuxième leçon, si ancêtres ou t'es fait pour vous, ou même ou pas jamais l'on non. Ou chita plomber nos ancêtres tout qualité monde. Gen nous qui nan nous nan islam, nous nan Allah, sak nan Jésus, sak nan Baha'i, sak nan pas besoin connaître, on da, on kunta plein. Mais qui est-ce qui te fait pour vous? Combien de fois par jour l'on met non? Manbo Inan. Combien de fois par jour l'on met non? Manbo Dédé Magritte, ton Manbo ti fiate. Jeune ti fi. Là ouais, il pas semblant rien. Tout meg, tout rachitique. Mais tout le monde respecte. Depuis ti fi ça réglon causer. Aïe aïe aïe. Il se met à faire. Et c'est ça qui est force li, c'est ça qui mène là. Parce que le te gen connaît, yo dou c'est connaît qui fait. Fia te gen connaît. Donc les n'a gardé nous ouais. Moun sa yo Dédé Marguerite, Marie Cécile Fatima, Boukman Duty. Ça nous connaît yo. Ah, ça connaît. Bon. L'aime fait commencer fêter Jean-Jacques Dessalines, qu'on pile monde qui dit "Oh, pas qu'à compte qui date li te fait. Ils sont esclaves pas gen date." Dit en tout cas, moi même li mandé me fêter le date ça et c'est date ça m'a fêter. Si demain matin, li mandé me fêter chaque semaine, m'a fêter chaque semaine. Si après ça le vin dit c'est pour me fêter 365 jours par an. M'a fêté 365 jours par an parce que pour moun qui te retiré tout ton enchon dans l'esclavage. Ta gen quantité jours pour pas fêter. Chaque jour pas fêter, chaque jour parlons mais non, c'est ou coupable. Moi même c'est position bam. Et c'est ça m'apprendre dans étudier Bò Kay Manbo pour moi comment la kay nous en pile dans nous. On n'a pas parlé dans côté comme ça. Oh, c'était Voodoo, c'était ceci, c'était cela. En tout cas, tout bon chrétien c'est marié, tap marié, tout marié, tout ça qui semble avoir. Fouette dans dos et fait écriti, cahier c'est dos qui te fait écriti. Là yo te décidé racher non, racher géo, couper les oreilles, couper tête tout. Il pas besoin aucune raison. De vous dire mon liberté, il a raché langue. Bon chrétien, c'est ça yo habitué fait. Et nous avons 5000 ans l'histoire sous ça yo marché fait dans tout peuple, tout partout sur la terre. Yo fait en Afrique, yo fait en Asie, yo fait en Amérique. En Amérique, yo font génocide carrément. Yo vinn trop fort ou rien, yo pas perdre temps yo, nan maltraité, yo juste pour disparaître. Et puis c'est moun sa yo nous voulons comme modèle dégager nous. Mais en attendant, moi-même, je connais ce Bò Kay Manbo qui te ban nous toute gèvrine, toute vitalité, qui nourrit nous tellement bien. On grain ti l'ennui, pas nous pas dire l'ennui, il pas durer des ans. On grain ti moment ça, nous joignent assez pour nous goumer pendant 14 l'année. Jour pour nous arriver dans 29 novembre 18 novembre 1803 d'abord pour caler monde à la France, mais non, mal trop vite. Faut dire 1800 nous caler monde à l'Espagne, 1801 nous caler monde nous font premier caler monde à la France, 1802 nous caler l'Angleterre, 1803 nous recaler la France. Et puis 29 novembre 1803 nous arrivons dans Fort Liberté de Salines, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, général Jean-Jacques Dessalines, arrivé dans Fort Liberté, il changeait dans le ville là. Ville la te gon l'autre non. C'est lit bal non for liberté. Avant li fait déclaration nationale d'indépendance dans for liberté 29 novembre 1803. Et puis nous casser rendez-vous avec nous pour 1er janvier pour nous faire déclaration universelle l'indépendance 1er janvier 1804 dans ville Gonaïve. Donc, nous avons tout un parcours, mais c'est 1791 qui était ban nous Gévrine, vitalité, force, détermination. C'est 1791 ça qui a été la Pérez dans tête nous. Depuis un blanc gado ou tomber tremblé. C'est à partir de là où retirer ça. Parce qu'en moins de 3 mois, Boukman Duty a toute équipe liya, te fermé tout système esclavagiste là nan non. C'est là ça nous apprend. Nek nous ka gagner la victoire sous blanc oui. Ils font victoire ici, ils font victoire l'autre bord. Ils font et puis ça a changé. Et puis nous joignons tout ça nous besoin pour une bataille pendant 14 l'année jusqu'à nous arriver dans 1er janvier 1804. Donc ou pas qu'à parler de 1er janvier et puis ou à cracher sous Bò Kay Manbo. Ou pas comprendre rien. Mais frère là, on y a un bras suspend parler pour parler pour tout le monde.
Attendez, haïtien, OK? Bayyinah Bello son trésor lié pour nous. Pour qu'à là avec nous, pour ba nous tout petit parole ça yo, pour nous comprendre qui ça ancêtres yo te. Mais avant nous continuer, faut nous parler avec et pour nous introduire professeur James Smalls. Lui-même, li kon sa prière beaucoup nan vle di. Li vive li travaille li. Plus que en ken haïtien que moi-même moi connais. Parce que le connaît ça lié. So ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, besides the great Bayyinah Bello, I am most honored to present to you our living legend, a man who carries Bò Kay Manbo and Pan-Africanism in his very soul, Professor James Small. When I tell you that Bookman spoke to us, Professor Small is us. He is Bookman. And for those of you, you know, every year I have spent, I don't know, honestly, my whole entire life commemorating what happened 234 years ago. But this is not my time. I've done this so many times. But I want you to join me in welcoming Professor Small, who just came from Africa, who will talk to you about who and what we are. Why, after over 1,000 years of Arab slavery, where Black women were breeded like they were animals, where Black men were destroyed, and 300 years of European barbarity, where Rochambeau came to commit genocide. Manbo Inan, Bookman, Dessalines, Capois-Lamont, they all said no. And because they said no, I am here today. You are here today to continue to fight against profit over humanity, profit over the Neanderthals' desire. Professor Small, So
Yes, ma'am.
thank you for being here. Please, please bless us with you
Allow
that
me
you
to
are.
just Allow me to just say this before. Let me remind everyone Professor Small has traveled to Haiti at least 2 times to come and celebrate Dessalines on September 20th. And he spent a week with us celebrating Dessalines and traveling across the country, going to the Citadel and everywhere. So this is somebody who put his word, put his feet where his words are. He does a lot of field work. Thank you, Professor,
Well,
for being here with
thank
us.
you, Sister Bayyinah. Thank you, Sister Ezalee, and our people. You know, Haiti and I have had a long relationship. It started in the 60s with a man named Rulax Maryland, who was a Cuban Babalao who was married to a Haitian Mambo named Marie. And that's when I first started getting my lessons in the history of Haiti and the politics. In the 70s, we raised funds, we bought guns, we bought boats. But each time the Americans would taught us in Florida by taking our boats and our guns and keeping us, even though I was not one on the boat, there were many Haitian soldiers, militants, and revolutionaries ready to go home and overthrow the Duvaliers at that time. And so most of my adult life, I've been involved in Haiti. And then 30 something, almost 40 years ago, I met this young lady who had the courage to come to Harlem and to speak to us about Haiti and Voodoo and the revolution. And I go, wow, there's really a living person that's got that kind of courage, that's not afraid to tell the truth about Haiti. And that was Sister Bayyinah Bello. And we've been friends, brothers and sisters ever since. And then one day a lady came storming in my living room. I don't know why my wife didn't run up and get the gun or do something. She just came to my house. And that was Sister Ezalee Dancer. But that's what Ezalee's spirit does. And so I got to meet this warrior queen. And now I knew 2 warrior queens. And I spent some good time trying to think I could become a good Mambo. I studied under Alexander Sandi and the Shrine of the Zan tribe in Brooklyn for some years. And I taught at City College comparative religion, they called it. And they were only talking about the 3 Western criminal organizations. And I refused to teach it unless it included our tradition, starting with Voodoo. And I remember when I did the first Voodoo ceremony, somewhere back in the 80s, on City College campus in the ballroom, most of my Haitian professors wanted to kick me out of the college. And they came to the ballroom and we had used corn flour, and the priests and priestesses come in, there was bebes everywhere, and they wouldn't come to our meeting. But we were trying to make a statement that the Africans in Haiti represents the first move, the first act of Pan-Africanism in the world. Haiti was made up of Africans from everywhere on that continent. Spoke all of these different languages, practiced all of these different approaches to understanding nature and cosmology and humanity. And Haiti somehow was able to pull that all together as one Africa and launch a resistance against human tyranny, against the worst barbarians in the world. But the mightiest armies of that day, they still praise their Napoleon, that little creep. And Haiti crushed the European empires, not just empire. It crushed the European empires, Spain, Britain, France, and America, who sat pretending they were for freedom, pretending they were for liberty, pretending even after Haitians had gone and helped them fight for their freedom and their liberty, they could not come and help us fight for our freedom and our liberty, but finance the very genociders, the French and the Spanish, towards our destruction. But what was extraordinary, and is still extraordinary about Haiti, you know, with all the propaganda they give us on TV and showing us the crisis that they've created in Port-au-Prince, they created the crisis. They maintained the crisis. They financed the crisis. They've assassinated our leaders. They've kept decent leadership from coming to power in Haiti. They, I mean the Americans primarily, the intelligence apparatus, the Americans' involvement in the drug trade out of Central and South America, and they've used Haiti in order to be one of their pathways. I'm talking about the French, the Israelis, the British, and the Canadians. All these people who talk about freedom and liberty, even today, human rights, even today, are allied against Haiti having her freedom. Because Haiti's freedom, predicated on Haitians having fought a revolution that told white supremacy, you are a myth. You are a myth. That we, the United African people, can destroy you whenever we decide to unite as an African people. And that's what Haiti represents. You know, we know through our tradition of Voodoo, and I know many times because of the brainwashing of Christianity and Islam and Judaism, many of us don't know our tradition. But we are those ancestors at Bò Kay Manbo. We are those ancestors on that island, planning this resistance. This wasn't just a resistance against a plantation owner or some bad white folks not treating us well. We were resisting a worldwide network of inhuman tyranny that was genociding the African race and the indigenous people of the Americas. And the Africans of Haiti. And something we must point out is Bayyinah taught me well, and Ezra taught me even more, that we misunderstood the role of our women in the initiation of our revolution. We misunderstood the role of our women in the preparation for our revolution. Because we still, as African people, have bought into the European male dominance of the human psyche, that we don't understand the role of the mother in society, in nature, in cosmology, and ecology. Voodoo teaches us this if we would return ourselves to understanding the philosophy, the psychology, the intellectualism of our ancestors. We have one of the most powerful systems in the world for knowing humanity, for knowing cosmology. Voodoo is one of the highest sciences in the world. We call it today in the West quantum physics, at least as a major aspect of it. But if you study quantum physics, you certainly are in the realm of understanding the foundations of Voodoo, which I think is even above our understanding of Western quantum physics as a science of nature and of cosmology, as a science of understanding how human beings should live in harmony with the rest of existence. That's what we are talking about. That's who we are. We are the very thing that our minds call the divine. We are that very thing. And in all of our traditions, be it Yoruba, Akan, Congo, Angola, Chadian, Malian, all of our traditions have a concept of reincarnation. And not reincarnating as some Eastern philosophy says you come back as birds or bees or trees. We only reincarnate as human beings in the very families that we originally manifest on this planet. So I am my grandfather. I am my great-great-father. My children are me going forward. When this body died, I've already manifest myself, others in which my spirit lives. And they will expand on that spirit with their personality and their experiences in the world. And so our people understood this. When they gathered on that island, it wasn't just to slaughter a pig. It wasn't just to sing some songs. It wasn't just to say, we are Black. They were saying, we are the very essence of divinity itself. We are humanity manifest. And we will bring down the tyranny, going against their cannons, their modern rifles, their new sabers and swords. We had our hoes and our pitchforks and our axe and our machetes. And we took their world from them with their military technology. Took it away. Because of the spirit of our humanity. Because of the spirit of our unity. Because we understood that the tree was not our enemy. The tree was our brother and our sister. The water was not our enemy. The water was our brothers and sisters. We made the environment our ally in the war against tyranny. The earth loved us and we loved the earth. It fed us. The bush hid us. The water quenched our thirst. And we did what no mighty nation in the world before us, Asian, European, or Africa, did. We overthrew the mightiest empire the world had ever arrayed to that day.
Ever.
We some bad folks. Now we will do it again because Haiti is just now taking a break. We did not expect to be attacked as we've been in the last 100 years by people who talk about democracy and civil rights and human rights and building United Nations and all of these things while they come to slaughter us for the raw material, for the uridium, for the gold. Haiti is one of the wealthiest countries in the Western Hemisphere. Just the oil off of the coast of Haiti alone will make every Haitian multimillionaires tomorrow if we are allowed to drill for our own oil.
That's the truth.
You know, Venezuela may be the only oil deposit larger than ours. If so, Haiti may well be the largest oil deposit in this area of the world. And yet they feed us while they're stealing our raw materials. They're making the world think we just running around the streets. And they took some young man and named him barbecue. And using that term barbecue to reflect upon what Americans, with their backward selves, in terms of culture, consciousness, and history, think the term barbecue means. They don't even know his mama once had a barbecue stand. You want to know? I came from a place where you used to have nicknames. You know, my nickname was Tippy Toe because I walk on my toes. It was a simple reason why they called me Tippy Toe. And when I became a football player and a track star, walking on the toes made me a hero. So I really became Tippy Toe. We know where nicknames come from in our culture. And it usually comes from whatever the family is doing or the business the family is in or the individual's behavior. But what they've done, they've taken their money, these so-called oligarchs, whom we helped, these Syrians and these Lebanese and their offspring. When the Turkish Empire was slaughtering them, Haiti offered them refuge. And they turned on them.
Yep.
And they joined the enemy of Haiti against them. And today they run around. I remember looking at TV during the earthquake. And they goes, who are these white men with guns running around all over the place? And it is their descendants who think they have a right to rule over us like the French did. And we should view them in the same context we view the French and the Spanish and the others. They're not our friends. They're not our fellow Haitians. They're the refugees that became our invaders. They're those we give sanctuary to who betrayed the very humanity of our hearts. And we need to think about that. Who are these people? And the alliance with the different American banking and corporate interests that's allied with the American government and its intelligence apparatus. That is the cause of everything that's going down in Haiti negative today.
True.
So the same forces that we fought against 234 years ago, those same forces under new names and new clothing and new dress and new language is what we're fighting against today.
Very true.
Without a doubt. I hope all of you who are here listening understands how important what Professor Small and Professor Bayyinah Bello just said, right? Because the Syrian Lebanese came from the Ottoman Empire and they were Christians, which means they were collaborators with their own cultural destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought them, these buffer races, to replace the French.
Mm-hmm.
Our intellectuals will not tell you that, because our intellectuals want to be Francophony.
Mm-hmm. Good
Our
job.
intellectuals will never take the name Esli Dantar. They will never not have these French names that both Dessalines and Bookman said we need to throw away, which is one of the reasons why most of you can't deal with Esli Dantar. But Professor Bayyinah Bello and Professor Small are not me. I just want to kill all of y'all.
All right, young lady.
They want to try to make you understand. I have no desire to make you understand. Just remember that. At Bò Kay Manbo Inan, 234 years ago, Bookman, Dede Magritte, these are women who spent more than 30 years under slavery. They had 15 children before they were allowed to just be. Children from their loins that was destroyed. I am that revenged. I want every Neanderthal to understand that I live and their time is ending. But Black collaborators, those of you who are here for more consciousness, here you go. You've got Professor Bayyinah Bello. You've got Professor James Smalls. Listen to them. I have no more desire to try to make any collaborator or anyone who doesn't understand how important their melanin is to humanity in the universe.
Right.
I have no desire to cuddle you. Like Bookman, like Cecile Fatima, like Mambo Inan, my only desire is coupe tête, boule kai. That's it. But free IET
Let me bring
up this
in.
platform for you. Opens up this platform for you to understand that besides Esli Dantor, there are some radas out here who want to help you with your consciousness.
Well,
that's why you can see there on my window.
What are we seeing? Talk to us about it.
That's Ezele Frida. And I know sometimes me and you have argued a bit about Ezele Frida, but I have Ezele Frida on one side. I have Shango on the other. I have my mother Oya on the other side. I've got Eshu Legba at my doorway. So I'm always surrounded. Especially
So
when
you
I'm-
guys, you see, at Bò Kay Manbo Inan, at Bò Kay Manbo,
Uh-huh.
there were, they say, 21 nations.
Mm,
The amalgamated African ethnic groups came together as one.
Pan-Africanism.
And that was their strength. Okay? But I ain't no amalgamated anything. But that was their strength. They came together as one. And my message to all of you is that you have Professor Bayyinah Bello, you have Professor Small, who actually believe in all these ethnic groups, who wish to somehow talk to the Neanderthals. I have no desire to talk to them. The time for us to stop and say no is here. 234 years ago, we said no. And because we said no, I am here. I live here. Bayyinah Bello lives here. Professor Small lives here because we had ancestors who said, cut their heads off and burn the plantation.
to protect Bulekai. And we still mean it.
Okay?
That's right. That's
the
right.
freedom of so-called Latin
But-
America to occur through our efforts. We freed all of Central South America. And even the blacks in the United States of America, our leaders looked to Haiti as being the inspiration for our rebellions in the United States.
Mhm.
And if no
True.
one stands,
But
if
excuse
no
me.
one tells you, I'm going to tell you that
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute, Ezeli. There is need for a song here. It's more than just our human self. Feuille nan bois, si posé. Feuille nan bois, si posé. L'ennemi barre mwen. Feuille nan bois, wa sauve mwen. The coming together is much more than 21 nations. It's coming together with nature. That's really what brought us to victory.
absolutely.
On the road, and it's not about Neanderthal. I don't give a hope about them. But those of us who want, it's always about who wants to be part of the family, who wants to work for the established purpose. So in the vegetation world, some of them will be with us. In the animal world, some of them will be with us. And in our family, the 21 nations, some of them will be with us. Some will not. And as long as you're not with us, you're against us. And we have no qualms about what happens to you. That is not, a question of we want everybody to be part of. No, it's not it. It's that we want to be clear. The purpose is clear. The objective is clear. The method is made clear. And every weapon in the universe is at our disposal.
Absolutely. Haitien. I've been doing this for more than 30 years. And there is no real novelty about what our ancestors did. What they did has never been replicated. They got rid of their own personal desires and decided that they did not want you and me to live the way they lived. They sacrificed everything they were for you, me, Bayyinah, and Professor Small. That sacrifice is the reason why I'm here today. Bayyinah is here today. Professor Small is here today. We honor the greatest human action that ever happened in human history. That's what this is. The greatest action that ever happened. No other human other than Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Capois Lamont, Marie-Claire Wurz, and all the children, women, and men of the Haitian Revolution said, this is not the way to treat human beings or nature. Because of that, I stand. In this storm where the Neanderthals are trying to get all of our attention, we stand. In that storm, we want you to know, Guinée posé, which means we already know we've already won. They're like, yap fait la kill beat, like my mother used to say. They're like somersaulting around looking for our attention. You don't know who you are. Professor Small just told you who you were, part of nature. Professor Bayyinah Bello just told you, there is no way you can lose. You are the original people of the planet. I don't care how many Taínos, Arawak, or whatever they want to tell you was indigenous. You are indigenous to this space. As a matter of fact, I will go even further and say you are indigenous to the multiverse.
Yeah.
So what is this? What is this that you're bowing to? What are you bowing to? To what? Some francophony speaking francophony? But okay. 3 things to remember. I do it every year. Bookman's prayer. Bon Dieu qui fait la terre, qui fait soleil, qui claire. Right? Bon Dieu qui dit nous. What's inside of you? What's inside of you wants to do good? What's inside of the other wants to commit crimes? What do you want to be? Commit crimes? You want to have 3 French names that was branded on you, like Victoria Montu, like branded on your breast? That's what they did. They branded their names, their profit over people culture onto you. Why would you even consider it when what you are original to the planet Earth, melanated to the sun? That's what you are. And all of this Lockheed beat that Trump is doing, that they're doing, it's just somersaulting to try to get your attention, which is currency. Professor Small, you just went to Ghana. Professor Bayyinah Bello, you just came out with a new book on the 7 principles of the laws. Before this is over, I want both of you to tell the people something about those 2 things and why they're important to our liberation. Please.
Well, going home is going home. Africa is where the first place where the universe decided to be a human being. And that human being was an African woman, and she gave birth to all of what we now call humanity. But understand, before she was that human being, she was the totality of the universe itself that declared itself to be expressed in that manner that we are now mimicking. And so when I go home to
Stop
Africa,
for a minute. Everybody, did you hear that? Before we went into these avatars, this is what I love about Professor Small. This is like what makes them our living legacy. The totality of the universe was you.
Mhm.
Do you know what that means? This is what he tells us every day. The totality of the universe is you. Professor Small, go on. Africa, Ghana.
And I tell the people when we get on that plane that you're not just taking a trip. We call it a pilgrimage. It's our pilgrimage. But you're actually taking the spirits of all of those ancestral lineage that make you up back home. So they're no longer lost in the Middle Passage. They're no longer lost in a foreign land. You're taking that cluster of vibration and energy and matter, and it's intermixing with this rhythm and its light connections to the rest of the universe. You says, okay, they took your body, they tore it apart, they threw it in the ocean, but I will take you back home in me as me, and I will deposit you there. You're home now. And it takes people a minute to get it, but when they feel the relief, they realize something has occurred. You have brought them back home. You know, now enjoy yourself, communing with them and their spirits and their victory over those who thought they could kill us. How can you kill me? I am the universe. You can't kill me. And Bayyinah's book I began to read, but she can speak on it. And she talked about the 7 loas. Tell people what the loas are. Really tell them so they can know Bayyinah how to reconstruct themselves.
Thank you. Okay, the idea of the 7 laws or principles of Voodoo is for us to understand it's not about singing and dancing. It's not about the appearances. You know, the appearances is what we do to animate ourselves. But what is important is understanding the principle behind the appearance. For example, today is Thursday. In many parts of the country, we say Thursday is the day dedicated to Ezili Freda Dahomey. And one of the things associated with Ezili Freda Dahomey is the color pink. And Ezili Freda Dahomey, what is the principle? The principle is the ability to bring what you want into materiality effortlessly. That's the principle. Okay? So without me having to dig and fight and do, I can make things happen. We have lost this ability. So much so that even in Voodoo, some people will say, oh, Ezili Freda Dahomey, she's lazy. Because she's not jumping and doing all kinds of activities. She's not lazy. She has the ability to make things happen effortlessly. And you have the ability to make things happen effortlessly. Because every law that we talk about within Voodoo, all the principles are living in us as vibrations, as frequencies. And they are not in opposition to each other. I can be in a particular moment. The best example is Marie-Jeanne Genge. Marie-Jeanne is the woman who could transform herself. At 10 a.m., you see her. She's an old Black man, toothless, with a bump on her back. She has one appearance. At noon, she's an 18-year-old mulatto woman, whatever. At 6, she is a white woman living it up. And you say, wow, how can she do this? Well, depending on what she has to do, and she's a fine fighter, In Creta Piero, she showed us how she could fight, how she could motivate people, and she could do so much more than any general. And this is the woman who does not, as Dessalines said, he's always trying to get her to join the army, and she always refuses. And he says in the end, I'm glad she doesn't accept, because if this woman comes into the army, I will have to give her to rank her higher than me, because she is the only one I know. Whenever all the generals said something is impossible, Marie-Jeanne always have a solution. So yeah, she is Danto and Freda whenever it suits her, depending on what she has to do. And we have the same ability. If we understand, there are situations where your weapon is a smile. There are other situations where you need the knife, you need the gun. So depending on what you have to do, what you need to do at the particular moment, then you will be whoever you have to be. But if you think you have to wait on, oh, I need to do such and such, I have to go see a Mambo to explain to me or to do something for me so I can get this or get that. Well, you can do that too. But actually, it's so much better for you if you understand that you have the power to be who you want and use whatever principle to carry what you need done. Okay. But we also have dominant traits. For example, when you look at François Duvalier is a typical Guédé. The way he dressed, always dressed in black with a high hat that says everything that we say, here's how Guédé is. When we look at François, we see the same thing. So when you look at Dessalines, in a certain period of his life, he's mostly Ogu. He can be Ogu Ferai, but on the battlefield, he's most often Gun Alumanjang. And that's why people couldn't figure out his next move. Because Ferai has a specific way of functioning, and you could figure it out.
Talk to us about that. What is that? What is that?
Well, every principle, as you stand right now, if I'm looking strictly on appearances, she's all dressed in black and red. Okay, so she is exhibiting her Ferai-ness, okay, in her black and red. And her language, she's ready to fight. Of course, she calls herself Ezidi Danto. But what's the difference between Ferai and Danto? One is the feminine, the other one is the masculine. They function exactly the same. So it doesn't matter. So she dresses as Ferai and she speaks as Danto.
I want to put my thumb on that one. Because I never understand patriarchy. Mm-hmm. And patriarchy's idea of what femininity is.
Well, for us,
because I am feminine, but I am Ezeli Delto.
When we're talking about laws,
and I am about community, children, and humanity and nature. Whatever else is there, I have no idea what that could be.
There is nothing that you mentioned that is not Danto. Femininity, except she will express the strength of femininity.
But
she has children. She always has her
children. That was not Ferai. You mentioned something different. What was that?
Badagri, Granalumanja.
Yeah, that part.
That's his feminine warrior expression. Granalumanja is the feminine. Granalumanja is the mother of all Ogus. She trained all the Ogus on how to fight. Okay, so it's of course it would take time for us, but basically what we would
can we find this in here, Bayyinah?
What you will find is the basic principles. We didn't go into a whole lot of details, and we try to limit it as much as we can.
Okay.
And simple
But
as
I want to encourage everyone to support Bayyinah and this new book that she has out. You can't do anything better with your time, I promise you. All right, than to do this. And I just want to ask:
Professor
is
Small
Gun
wrote the
Alumanta
preface.
in here? I don't think I saw that.
No, Gunnar is she's mentioned only. I didn't
Okay.
go into details.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because
I
I'm
didn't go
having a
into details
problem
of
with this whole
anyone.
guy that I'm supposed to figure out. Bayyinah.
Hmm?
Okay. I am totally, Professor Small,
Yes, ma'am.
I am totally ever having problems. Where the hell is Ogufurai in this century, other than Traore?
Well, it's always everywhere because we know Traore because the others have chose to push him forward. But I would find that quality more centered in the leader from Mali, who we hear
That's
very little about.
That's true.
Talk
But-
to us. Talk to us.
But
Explain
that
to us.
aspect of Ogun that is represented by Traore is protecting that aspect of Ogun that is represented by the president of Mali.
Talk
And
to us.
so-
What is his name? Mali.
Goita. Uh-huh.
Okay.
General
Sounds
Goita.
like Makandal
Mhm.
from Mali.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like Dr. Ben taught us, Dr. Ben was one of our great teachers, Ethiopian, who grew up in the Caribbean and then came to the United States. And he taught us about the laws of opposites. And he taught us about Ma'at, concept of truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, and reciprocity, as manifest in ancient Kemet, or what they call Egypt. But it's the same system of understanding that we call Voodoo. We just have different terms and different manifestation because it's a different time in history and we are up against a different type of forces. But the manifestation of the universe is constant. It's not going to change for anything. The sun is the sun. The moon is the moon. The
Right.
Chinese look at the same sun that we look at in the Caribbean and in America. And so what we need to understand that I am as much feminine as I am masculine. Okay. In my name, I'm Obenjoko Adebayo. That's my blessed name. And that means the king will return to reclaim his crown. And so I've had that name for 30 something years, and my spirit works out of that space. Even though most people know me as Professor Small or James Small, my spirit name, or what they call an initiation, my angel names, is Obajoko Adebayo. And so I lived as Obejoka Adebayo, a child of Oya. Oya is the concept in nature that transforms. And that concept
transforms invisibly like wind does.
Yeah.
Like the
Okay.
wind world.
Okay.
Yes.
This is
Okay.
really important because wind,
Yes.
brise montagne. We
Uh-huh.
can't leave here without mentioning what that is. But before I do that, though, I want to go back to the Mali leader you were talking about. Why is he Ogu Furai?
Well, if I may say something, the three nations that have come together, if we look at them carefully and not just stick to what, again, they're pointing at Traore. They're just a mass producing of stuff on Traore. All three, no one could have been part of the IRS without being an Ogu spirit. Now, when you look at the Ogu spirits, you have so many expressions of Ogu. You have Ogu Ferai, Ogu Badagri, Ogu Balenjo. Ogu Balenjo is the Ogu that is fire walking on water. That's Balenjo. And he's a great healer. You have Ogu, There are tons of them.
Okay.
So when you say someone has a Ogu personality, you haven't really said anything yet. Now, when you say Ogu Ferai, you're telling us the quality of his principal weapon. Iron is his primary weapon. When you say Balenjo, you're talking about water and fire working together. When you're talking Gran Alumanja, she's an Ogu. She doesn't carry the name Ogu at all. But yet she gave birth to all the Ogus. So when we understand that, then when we look at the three leaders, we have three different Ogus coming together. And actually, Traore is more Badagry, not Ferai. And Assimi Goita is the Ferai.
And he comes forward because they send him forward. Because the spirit that he carries gives him the command of that space.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we come back to Dessalines, we come back to a Christophe, we come back to a Toussaint, you see those same powers, those same forces, those same spirit that is destroying. And look at it. It is the same French Empire that we destroyed in Haiti that they're now destroying in Africa.
Right?
That's right.
Badagrio, ou montre dan, mais on pas souri ba yo.
That's right. Okay. All right, people. Go get you the 7 Principles of Vodun by Professor Bayyinah Bello.
To let them know we're not playing, I have my copy too.
There you go. There you go. He's also got an introduction in here. You can't go wrong.
The preface.
All right. And I can't do anything better with my time than support these two wonderful folks who support the community with their whole entire soul. And so that's why I took today, August 14th, to speak and provide a platform for the two most important elders that we have in our communities. I want you to continue to support them. And what else do I want to say to all of you out here listening, other than it is time for the Black woman to say no, period. And I'm here to say that. That's all I got to say. No. I say no. Dessalines said no. We must put humanity before profit. We must put nature. Nature is all there is, and it's abundant. It's not scarce. Not like
And on that score, please allow me to say, I have been saying for years that when you remove the seed from the fruits, it is a crime. It is a crime against humanity. When you remove the seeds from the fruit, you are planning famine, massive famine across our planet.
Mhm.
And
absolutely
it's vital for us to understand.
It's not natural.
Oh,
Oh.
Right?
And we need to know we're made up of 401 minerals that we know of. 401. And 70% of that, the 75% that makes up our body is water. But that hydrogen and oxygen in its various mixtures contain even in itself more elements than we've ever really discerned. When we understand ourselves why we eat greens, why we eat yellow fruit, why we eat red fruit, what time of year should we eat this fruit, what time of the year should we eat this root plant. All of those things, when we listen to our ancestors who was listening to nature, will tell us how to stay healthy, how to keep the institution that mimics the universe functioning as a universe. Each of us are a sun, and all of those around us are moon reflecting the sun. And even the moon that reflects the sun is a sun to another set of moons reflecting their light. If we just spend a moment to just contemplate the universe that we live in, we will see the mirror of ourselves. And then we know how to grow. That's why studying the ancestors, to be instructed and to be informed by your ancestors, is to be free. To be instructed and informed by your ancestors is to be free.
That is correct. That's right. And it doesn't matter if it's not in somebody's book.
Right.
If you got it from that source, then you move on it. You act in accord with your own word. Okay, you put it into words to share it with others, and then you act on it. You don't have to have so-and-so's approval and whatever. You know, one of the things that we're very proud of at Fondation Félicité, we spent 21 years celebrating Dessalines' birthday, with all kinds of people objecting to whatever they want to object to. That's, we never respond to anything like that. We just do what we got to do. And after 21 years of us doing this, then the government, which a few years earlier, actually, the Minister of Security, whatever it was, called us to say they heard that we were going to celebrate Dessalines' birthday in different towns of the country. Who gave us permission to do that? I said, oh, Dessalines himself gave me permission. That was easy answer. Yeah. And we were threatened, but we went about and we did what we had to do and went about. Anyway, 21 years later, the government declared September 20th Dessalines' Day. So now it's an official, but way before they did anything, we did what we knew was correct. And that's what's important. How long it took to get there. And it wasn't our purpose. We never asked them to do anything. It's just that one day we heard, like everybody else, that it was, So that's what's important when you're doing what you know from your inside. And if it comes from your inside, then that means the ancestors told you about it. Because they always speak to us, heart to heart, soul to soul, or into the dreams. That's the easiest part. When we dream it, we know, well, I received this in a dream. But when they go heart to heart, you have no clue where this thing comes from. But yet you have to act on it. Because without action, the word dies. We cannot be afraid to do what we have to do, what we are told to do, what we sense is the right way to go. Gotta trust self and move forward. Yes. Esli Network and Free IT, reclaiming Black culture, history, achievement, self-determination, and dignity from the global whitening, commercialization, and criminalization. Yes, that's the way to go. In fact, in reading some of the information on Esli Network, one of the things I admire about the things that that the network is claiming, for example, one salary. Yeah, if there's one salary for the continent, for example, then everybody will stay home. People don't feel like leaving their homes. They only feel if they feel they're gonna get something better. And if there's one salary throughout the continent, then everybody will have good schools. Everybody will have decent hospitals. Everybody will have what we need in our own country, and everyone will enjoy staying exactly where they are. So we have to do our best to trust ourselves and work on information received from our spiritual guides or ancestors. We have to do the best we can to share information and encourage each other. Anyway, me, that's what I came on this earth to do, to share information. You want to hear, you hear. Those who want to heed, heed. Those who don't, that's not a problem. But me, I'm duty bound to share. And that's what I do in whatever form. Look at Professor Small, beautiful office.
Yeah, this is my space where all my ancestors are behind me, and all of my strength symbols of the forces of nature that's within me. I'm going to have to leave you soon, but I'd just like to give people two quotes. One is by Malcolm X, who was the mutual teacher for both of us. And he says, the secret to life is to have no fear. The secret to life is to have no fear.
Yes.
And the other is by our great king and emperor, Dessalines. He said, it's liberty or death. There's no in between there. Liberty or death.
That's it. Liberté ou la mort.
And so we should remember that. The Haitian Revolution wasn't yesterday. It is today. It is happening right now.
Right.
It wasn't something in the past. It is right now. Everything that they taught us in that moment in space, with all of the great things we need to put into play right now.
Exact.
And what's the manifestation that they showed us was possible.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Everyone, thank you so very much.
You are so welcome.
Thank you so very much. 234 years ago, at a wood clearing in the north of Haiti, our ancestors stood, as Professor Bayyinah always teaches, they worked very hard to put that meeting, that war council together. It wasn't some haphazard event. It was organized. And so we need to organize. We need to stand. And we need to stand together and say, no, the white man's God wants to commit crime. What's inside of what we are wants to do good. This is the only reason I stand as Haïtien, because of that line. What's inside of me wants to do good. I stand for that. I am that. We are that. We want every sentient being on the planet to experience the abundance of nature and the economic abundance that the universe provides for us and everything, in plants, in fruits, in food with seeds. And that's what we stand for at the Free Haiti Movement and Esli Dental Network.